La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Alhamdulillah.
حیلت رها کن عاشقا، دیوانه شو دیوانه شو، وندر دل آتش در بیا، پروانه شو پروانه شو. هم خویش را بیگانه شو، هم خانه را ویرانه کن، وانگه بیا با عاشقان هم خانه شو هم خانه شو. رو سینه را چون سینه ها هفت آب شو از کینه ها، وانگه شراب عشق را پیمانه شو پیمانه شو. باید که جمله جان شوی تا لایق جانان شوی، گر سوی مستان می روی مستانه شو مستانه شو. ای ناطق بر بام و در، تا کی روی در خانه؟ نطق زبان را ترک کن، بیچانه شو بیچانه شو.
It's beautiful just like this. We are going to ask you to translate.
I have a translation here.
You have a translation
Yes.
there. My camera person has just collapsed. It's okay.
Don't be clever, my dear. Be crazy, be crazy. Be a butterfly. Be a butterfly, burn yourself in the flame of the fire in your heart. Be stranger to the ego, destroy the house of the ego. Then you can come and be hosted in the house of lovers of the God. When you wash your heart from all enmities, you will become full of divine wine of love. You should be pure soul in order to meet God. Fall in love, fall in love. Forget about to be a God speaker, a good speaker. Keep quiet, keep quiet.
I think Rumi would have been very happy here. Well, he is. Normally in our culture, upbringing, conditioning and so on, we are somehow conditioned to work always with a fragmented mind, not with total mind, not with natural mind, but always working in this kind of tribal conditioned way. Everyone somehow have been coached, brought up. You cannot find any particular one to blame for this. It is just the manifestation. Each one somehow conforms, the consciousness conforms to a particular kind of conditioning. So that everybody belongs to a certain kind of tribe of thought, a mindset. You see? But in satsang, in a way, it's not that we are saying discard all of that, throw it away. No, not at all. Much conditioning is also good and necessary. It's part of the game, the role that consciousness must experience again in order to refine itself and then to return to its original nature. You see. So in satsang, we're again introduced, guided back into your universal being. And to make it easier, it's not that you must destroy anything. just move beyond it. Now, as an example today, we have read something from the Avadhuta Gita, and straight away it goes to the end of language. In a few sentences, it has exhausted, you see, the capacity of language. It has become so simple, also all-encompassing, you see, that it brings you again into the unified mind, the natural mind. It is not saying like this and dislike that. Choose this, but reject that. It's not saying, you know, these people are better than these people. This way higher than that way. It's saying that there's only the one. And whichever way your mind might work to comprehend that one, it is all the one. Even the two and the three is all the one. And so the fragmented mindset doesn't have much room to breathe in such a unified field. It is accustomed to diversifying, and it loves the game of comparing and interpreting and projecting, because that takes time. You buy more time in this game of transcendence, in the game of learning and developing and acquiring and all of this. Fertile soil for the dualistic mind. But the sage's voice is not like that. He sees into the very heart of language, sees into the very heart of the mind and the being. And once it strikes that chord, you see, the mind is rendered, is nullified in its power. It is all just the one. There was never really two. Find that one in you as your own self, the one which is beyond even the concept of one, that which simply is. Don't rely on your mind for this. Don't just ask your mind's help. It will also have to come along in this journey of self-discovery. But he must not lead. He must follow. If you identify with a limitation, you will not really deeply want this game to end. You may say that with words, but in your heart you will deny it at some point. Because the ego will not do anything that will directly threaten its existence, if you follow what I'm saying. It will not cooperate with any action or any activity that may somehow expose its unreality. A higher power must be there to expose that. Be inside the inside itself. Don't hold this thought that you're journeying towards something, because that in itself is an admission that you're outside. And if you believe this thought, then you are going to believe it into existence. And then you have to find a counter thought to have to break the spell of that thought, not realizing that it is all thought. How profound, how fundamental to come to the recognition that all is thought. In fact, it doesn't make it bad. Then the thought cannot exist by itself, independent of the perceiver of the thought. Where is the position of the perceiver of thought? Who is the perceiver of thought? The one who perceives thought but is not bound by thought. Who is it? Put your attention on that. And immediately there's a sense of expansion. fix your attention on a very limited identity, and there's immediately a kind of contraction. There's already a squeeze, a claustrophobia inside the beingness, because the person has so many obstacles, so many enemies, so many forces to work out, to work through, to push away, to attract. It's a very busy entity. So about these things, we don't have to speak for a very long time about them. If you're speaking too long, too many things, be sure that most of it is a lie. If you're looking at any of the great, what I would call the great books, they're not even particularly teaching anything. Like such as this, we've just been reading a bit from the Avadutta Gita. It's not so much a kind of teaching book. It is like the spontaneous utterances that are the outpourings, you see, of that liberated mind, natural mind. You see? And they illumine and they inspire and remind rather than teach. They go right to the source, to the core, and they detonate their power there. And this is why so quickly people feel set on fire. They find that their mind is somehow deconstructing from all this superstructure of illusory thinking, you see. And this is the direct way. It is not putting responsibility in the hand of the illusory ego identity. It is exposing it from the outset to show very clearly and irrefutably that you cannot be that. You cannot be somehow the conditioned identity. It is only a sort of a mirage, a construct. Rather, you are the weakness of it. The detached, dispassionate weakness. Within yourself, you'll find a space which is uncontaminated and uncontaminatable. It is coming increasingly into light, to the point where no more doubt will be around it, you see. Coming out of sleep. There are certain states which we are coping with now, bearing now, but in a short time they will be unbearable for you. Why? Not because they are too heavy for you, but simply because you have no interest in them. They have nothing to offer. They're not in service to the truth. It's just like a waste of time. And as soon as you're clear about this, immediately its power is cut. The nature of any illusion is that as soon as it is clearly recognized, it loses its power. Where else would you hear that what you're searching for is already what you are? That your deepest longing, your purest desire is already fulfilled. It is already pure. But it has to be recognized. That's all. It has to be recognized. It doesn't need imagination nor creative thinking. Thank you. May all who are in search of the truth, which is to be found inside your own heart, come quickly to that full recognition. Throw off this old sleep. Shake off this whole tired self. And begin to see with the eyes of the heart, with the eyes of God. Yeah. To experience life with the love of Jesus Christ, with the peace of Ramana Maharishi, with the wisdom of Shiva, with the sweetness of Rumi. Yeah. All of them have their home in the heart. They have found it. And now it's our turn now. Our generation must find us. May each one come to know you cannot separate from what you cannot leave. That this pain, it's just a dream. It has just been a dream. Enough dream. Enough dream. So whatever it is that we may feel has been holding us back, it's time to know it is not real. It has never been real. Nothing holds you back. Just the thinking and the believing in those thoughts, they somehow play a role in that. Your heart has never been guilty of any sin, of any crime. It's just been a long dream. Long dream. There's no need for any shame or to feel or to be apologizing for your existence. You see? Because your role was written a long time ago to play this game. It's good. So let's just allow ourselves to feel the full love and the power of God's presence. Just allow yourself to not to stop excusing that. And just be open.
Master, your words is a sweet song, but not for my ears. It is a song for my heart, and my heart is singing with you, but there is only one voice. Thank you.
Thank you. It must come to some point where we can just throw off our hesitations, our excuses and everything, and allow, because not from the side of the truth is it hiding itself. It's not drip feeding love to you. It's fully here, and to embrace that, to just say yes, I'm here for this. And then you can say hallelujah to the truth. So just to know that nothing binds you. These have just been a whole ghost stories from the mind. They've just been a long sleep. And to enjoy your freedom. Enjoy your freedom. And I feel this is what the divine, the Lord, wants all beings to know that inside. Otherwise, our life hasn't reached. We haven't reached our climax in life if you don't know this thing inside. To living constantly with some denial of the truth inside. And so from these days you'll see, from onwards from these days, you will experience, in fact, the full power of the presence, because you somehow welcome it. You're not trying to explain it, don't explain it, don't even learn about it. Just embrace yourself in it. And see how life can be simple in its expression, because truth cannot be just effort. All these are the myths of the mind, all these are the lies of the mind, like that. And you have been here, we are here to overcome that, to transcend it. That is the great transcending. You see? To stop looking out to life, looking out at life from underneath the bed. Why are we doing this thing? You see? At the same time, it's not going out, it's not being super confident, it's not about this. But to feel the full silence of our being and live in the fullness of that light. You don't have to imagine, because it is itself speaking through you. You don't have to say a word. And what I've been saying to you is not the product of just an emotional state. It is the truth, and what you feel in your heart is the fire of that love that that is inside your heart. It's nothing, and may it never burn out. Because truth is not a mood. Moods may come and go, but the truth does not come and go. So don't judge yourself by the passing clouds of the mind. These are small things. And stop taking life so personally. There's nothing personal. But there's space for the person to play also. Really play. But it's the fiction, not the fact. The heart, the self is the fact. Very happy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.